about Death Stranding is that, and you can kind of see this in Kojima games. You can kind of see like the evolution of like so Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2 was sort of these boxy, sort of closed environments, and they were kind of constricting. Like they purposely did that. I mean, Kojima purposefully did that to make it, I guess, claustrophobic. I don't really know why he did that. But
Well,
and then you
think with
see and then you see 3, and I didn't play 4 but 5, and it's like way more open. He starts getting more open worldy about it, and then now you've got Death Stranding, which is like the ultimate sort of end game for him, I guess, is like total open world. Do whatever you want. Try to do it, like however you feel like. And I mean, that's fantastic.
it's interesting too because I feel like when 5 came out, it kind of got this sort of like flack for like, oh, he's just copying. It's just Metal Gear open world, right? But like, I feel like no, there's a solid through line of like Kojima mechanics
Yeah,
that
yeah,
played into an open world and a
yeah.
sandbox in a better way than like your standard Ubisoft
Oh
collect the
yeah, 100%.
way.
And I didn't get that at first. I've tried to play Metal Gear Solid 5, like, I don't know, couple times, 3 or 4 times, and I didn't never really bought into the open world thing before now, because like I don't know, I never really understood. I played the first one, the second one, I really liked the first one, and the second one I didn't really play past the tanker level, but I still liked it. On principle, I thought
Yeah,
it was pretty similar to what I had played before. And then Metal Gear Solid 3, I played it, and it was kind of too open for me. I kind of didn't get it. And so
oh yeah,
and so I didn't really like it as much, and I kind of like, I don't know, I guess 5 was kind of the same way. It didn't tell me enough of like what I'm supposed to do. I didn't really feel like it was as like straightforward as 1 and 2, so I just kind of was like, I don't know. And then yeah, so I kind of felt sort of turned off by that sort of open worldiness. But what was weird is how much I enjoyed Death Stranding, and then coming back to those games, like
yeah.
5 was like, it's just crazy because it's just like it makes sense, this evolution sort of, he was just trying to get to this place
Right.
further on, and then once he got there, it all made sense to me. I was just like,
Well,
man,
and it's funny, like going
man.
back to 3 after 5, and you're like, God, these are these like tiny closed off claustrophobic areas.
Yeah, I remember there were a couple like that. There were
One
there
or
were
two,
Yeah.
they're still relatively tiny compared to what you can do in 5 and stuff.
Oh, okay. So noise canceling works, but I wanted to ask if you genuinely, I guess you already kind of said you don't believe, if you genuinely do not believe that there is Zelda influence in any of his games, because
So,
I'm gonna have to argue.
here's the thing, and Zelda, I feel like, is such this integral cornerstone of video game design
Yeah.
that it's really hard to either A, get away from it, or B, not be influenced by it.
Okay. 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 I
It's
agree.
interesting. Like Symphony of the Night, founded Metroidvania, right? But
Right.
like
Right.
Egos said, it wasn't Super Metroid they were trying to like copy. It was Zelda. So
Wow. What? That doesn't
sort
make
of
any
like
sense. Okay.
getting items that you can use elsewhere,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. I see it. I see it now. Okay.
even in Metroid, right? Metroid, there's a lot of Zelda influence there too.
Yeah.
This
Okay. Yeah. I
sort
I,
of
I kind of see that, but let me give you two very cherry-picked examples to kind of illustrate my point. And these are not very good examples at all. But okay, so in MGS5, right? So you have a horse, and the horse works exactly like the horse in Ocarina, like exactly, right? Like, I mean, it jumps over fences. It's got the little. It doesn't have the carrots, which give you a limited sort of boost or whatever. But I mean,
but
it what?
it can shit.
I didn't know
Have
that.
you,
I didn't know that.
dude? Oh my god! I don't know. Maybe it's an unlock. I think it's an unlock because later you can command him to shit.
Wow, dude.
If you do it
There's
on the road, fucking trucks will run over it and spin out.
Oh my god, I love that. I love that. I love that there's so many like little Easter eggs like that in all of Kojima's games. I mean, it's literally it's so wonderful, you know, and it really just
They're
shows, you know, like he really cares about, you know, gamers. He's like making a game for gamers because he's a gamer himself, you know, because it's like, you know, gamers love Easter eggs. Like I would love to get like I would like to find like a little Easter egg that's like, oh, you put a little extra effort in, here's a little reward. And it's like he does that, you know, like I mean, I probably would have never known about that had you not told me, you know. So I mean,
yeah, yeah.
that's the kind of thing that makes his games
Well,
so great, I
I
feel like.
like classic example of that is that I forget his name, but the sniper character, the sniper
S-
boss in Metal Gear Solid 3,
Sniper
where
Wolf?
no, in
Oh,
3,
okay.
with he's like this super old dude, and you know his sort of legend is like, oh, the greatest living warrior sniper. So, like,
Yeah,
basically
right.
at the
It's
fight, if you
mhm.
pause and save
Yeah.
and then wait a real world week, you'll come back in and he's died of natural causes.
Wait. How do you trigger it? How do you how do you trigger this again? Like this is so obscure to me. Like this is so obscure. Like so okay, you're in the
Yeah,
boss fight.
the crustiest old guy as a boss. And as soon as you start the boss fight, if you like save and quit and wait a week,
Wow, dude, that's crazy. That's
you
awesome.
boot the game back up and having won, and you like go have a scene where you inspect his dead body, and you're like, oh, must have died.
What the hell? That's awesome. So I
Yeah,
mean, that's just mind blowing. Like, so how would you even find something like that? You would have to go to the boss, just shut it off there, and then just stop playing for. I guess that's not too crazy, but it's. I mean, that's the kind of crazy sort of like. I mean, like only in Kojima games. I mean, there's like a certain level of or attention to detail or something
well,
where
and
it's
you know what I
just
think
like,
it is too is the sort of benefit you get of this sort of auteur thing is mostly comes down to the fact that there's no exec saying, "Oh, that's not worth the time and you know resource
yeah,
investment
yeah. I mean,
product." But I think what happens is that almost Easter eggs and like standard AAA games are almost like I don't know, like mini condolences or like
yeah,
expected actions,
yeah,
not
absolutely.
just sort of like true Easter egg or like Kojima like decided he wanted that, and then some team had to animate a new cutscene.
Oh my god, dude,
I had
that's
to implement
awesome. That's
the system
awesome.
call, right? Like all of this time and resources was spent into that just because Kojima wanted it. Whereas,
Oh man, that's so cool, dude. That is so
yeah,
cool. I mean,
because
and
even Symphony of the Night, right?
yeah,
And it's sort of I would call it less of an auteur thing and more of a like Konami had the infinite budget and time thing.
yeah.
But it was such a neglected side project that it just was filled with Easter eggs because they had so much time and no one looking over their back, so they just did whatever the fuck they wanted.
That's fucking awesome. And I think I mean you said something earlier that makes a lot of sense is how, you know, like a publisher like Ubisoft, like if you look at one of their games like Assassin's Creed, the new ones, like what's an Easter egg? I mean, to them it's like I don't know what an Easter egg. I mean, it would be probably like a reference to one of their prior games or something like that, like a cute little poster hidden in like some corner, and you know, or like maybe like a hat from like Rayman or something like that. You
Yeah,
know, like
yeah,
that's what an Easter egg is to a big AAA studio. It's not something clever. It's something that makes you feel clever and that you felt like. I mean, you've been given sort of a window into the game designer's mind almost. You know, like he actually thought about this. Like it's crazy. It just makes you want to be like, oh my god, he actually thought about, you know, like I mean, this guy is so old. What would happen if you shut off your console for a week? Like he actually thought about doing that. Like that's crazy, you know. And it's not just like a little homage to like some game that they made like 10 years ago or something like that. That's not an Easter egg. That's just product placement in your AAA game or something like that.
and I'm sure like that like the Rayman hat Easter egg or whatever like had this mandate of like it
I
can
did.
only take the designer one day of work to do, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, yeah. I mean, it shouldn't be like very taxing because we have to work on microtransactions, right? Like we don't want to mess with the main game. Like we want to focus on the story and our timelines and whatever's in our tracker for the day,
Yeah.
because we don't want to spend too much time on this funny junk that won't be part of that 90% of the people won't play and experience. And I think that's the sort of crazy thing with like Kojima games. There is literally so much content that you will never probably see. I mean, but it's there. Like say, I mean, like just like you got caught by the BT and you got a void out. Like I didn't ever see that, but they thought about that. They wrote all the scripting and Norman Reedus probably had a line or somewhere in there, and they
Well,
did all the work. I
it's
never saw
interesting
that.
because I feel like that sort of big studio attitude of like this sort of utilitarian, like let's invest our time and resources into the things that most players will see
Yeah, yeah,
is,
that's what I was
is
getting
like
at.
counterproductive because it's the things that few players see is the reason we talk about Kojima games for 20 years.
Right. But is that like a cult thing? Is that like because we played Kojima games and we really like Kojima and so we're more sort of enamored with this approach, or is it actually like is
No, I think that's a general like sort of creative decision that makes all sorts of games like sort of long lasting. I mean, it's
Yeah,
even
yeah.
like
I think you're right. I think you're right. I think it's like it's like whenever you're looking at like I don't know, like a doll or something that someone's made with their hands. Like you look at all those little details, and if the details are like if there's details there that you didn't expect, or like that are like I don't know, crazy artesian sort of
yeah,
crafting sort of things, then you sort of think the rest of the doll should be pretty awesome because it's like they thought about this little tiny thing that I probably wouldn't even have thought about, and yet we have this full doll here, so it must be amazing. And so I mean, yeah, for a AAA publisher, I mean, for some reason they don't do that, and I don't know. I mean, it's sort of a testament to the quality of his games, and I think that's why it's probably not just like a little cult thing